Welcome, listeners, to another episode of the Chris Talk Show. Let's get into it. What it is, I am your host with the most, Chris Talks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into our top topic for this episode, which is going to be a couple accused of holding a teen captive and abusing her for 7 years before she escaped. Oh, wow.
Bruh.
Wow. We're going to go to Sarah for that report, but after that, I will give you my view and my opinion on this particular topic. All right, Sarah, take it away.
Thank you, Chris. A couple from Gloucester Township, New Jersey, allegedly kept a teen captive and abused her for 7 years before she escaped. In what authorities are describing as a despicable and heartbreaking case. Brenda Spencer, 38, and Brandon Mosley, 41, were arrested over the weekend. Days after the victim, Spencer's daughter, escaped their home. The teen, now 18, had allegedly been abused since 2018, when she was removed from school before starting 7th grade and was confined to her home. Camden County Prosecutor Grace C. McCauley said at a news conference Wednesday, removing the victim from school helped hide the heinous, years-long torture that she suffered. The prosecutor said, the pair has been charged with several counts, including kidnapping, aggravated assault, endangering the welfare of a child and weapons charges. Officials said, Mosley, who worked as a train conductor, allegedly also sexually abused the victim, who was beaten with a belt. He was charged with several counts of sexual assault. CNN is attempting to determine whether the defendants have legal representation. The victim was forced to live in a dog crate for approximately 1 year and was only let out periodically. She told police she was later held in a padlocked bathroom while being chained up and was only let out when family visited. Officials said, at other times, she was forced to live in a room with only a bucket for a bathroom. The room was equipped with an alarm system that would alert Spencer and Mosley, described as the victim's stepfather, if she attempted to leave. Authorities are not disclosing details of the victim's escape, except that it occurred on May 8. A neighbor, who initially called 211 for crisis intervention before contacting 911, helped report the abuse to law enforcement. McCauley said, police first contacted the victim after she escaped from the home, but she did not disclose the abuse then. Gloucester Township Police Department Chief David Harkins said, the victim indicated she was in a disagreement with her father and was looking for homeless services. Authorities offered her domestic violence services, which she declined. The chief said, officers conducted a limited search of the home, though no arrests were made at that time. It does not appear that the victim went back to the home after the initial contact with police. A later search of the home determined the victim was forced to live in squalid conditions with numerous animals, including dogs and chinchillas. Officials said, what this young woman survived was absolutely horrific. McCauley said, adding that she was extremely fortunate to escape. Authorities did not elaborate on the victim's physical or mental condition after her escape, citing confidentiality amid the investigation. As you can imagine, anyone who's been confined for a period of 7 years, held in these conditions, living in squalid filth, is going to be damaged psychologically, physically, emotionally, mentally, and as you also can appreciate, when it comes to cases involving child endangerment and child abuse and sexual assault, confidentiality to protect the victim is paramount. McCauley said, the victim's 13-year-old sister also lived in the home and had been pulled out of school years earlier. The younger girl was also homeschooled. McCauley, she said, in New Jersey, guardians only have to notify the school district of the intent to homeschool children and are not required to confirm attendance. Minimum instructional time. Subjects are testing. McCauley explained, homeschooling may be the right choice for many families. Unfortunately, it can be used by others as a means to hide abuse. The prosecutor said, certainly this case proves there's need to revamp and revisit those laws. Both the victim and her sister are now safe, the prosecutor said without providing additional details about their whereabouts. A detention hearing for Spencer and Mosley is scheduled for Friday. Back to you, Chris.
All right, thank you, Sarah, for that report. And you could just drop my bomb real quick. Wow. ladies and gentlemen, that's the part of the show where I give you my view and my opinion on this particular topic. Well, the first thing I want to say about this is that this is an extremely, in my opinion, just an extremely awful situation for this to happen to anybody, but to be held captive for 7 years, like 7 years, 7 years.
Wait, what?
I'm having a hard time just saying 7 years because it just sounds it don't sound like a big number. When it comes to years, it sounds very long. And I'm really grateful that this girl was able to escape. Can we give some cheers for the neighbor for calling 911? What they said, she called 211 and then she called 911. Can we give her some cheers real quick? Yes. And can we give her a round of applause real quick? And I want to give her that just for taking that action. Just for her taking that tiny action of calling 211. I guess that's like their report service down there, and then her calling 911. That was very heroic of her. But ladies and gentlemen, all my listeners, I've said it before and I'll say it again. These are not isolated incidents. You know what I'm saying? These type of things happen a lot, far more than it's being put out there by the mainstream media. But there are more cases just like this where it has been reported that parents are taking their kids out of school, claiming to homeschool them. And this is where this type of abuse has been happening. This is not the only report. This is just the report that we're reporting. But there are many more like this across the country. Okay, where parents are taking their kids out of school, and then this type of abuse happens.
Bruh.
And it's a very hard thing to deal with. And I say that because it affects the entire community. Because, I mean, just think about it. Just imagine, just for 1 second, that your neighbor, to any one of my listeners, just imagine for 1 second that your neighbor is this person. And this is something that you didn't know that was happening for years. And I think the guy, right, is the guy the stepfather? Ed, is the guy the stepfather or the father? All right, the stepfather. So this is another, to me, another situation where it's just deeper than just the girls, okay? Because one of the girls, I think nothing, they don't say if anything happened to the other girl, and none of our research has come up with anything happening to the 13-year-old girl. Unless it's being kept confidential, we don't know as far as uh, this show is concerned. And to get back to my point, I know sometimes I drift off, but to get back to my point, I think that there was more abuse than what is being said because, and I'm gonna put it out there because for this woman to sit there, because I think she had to be I'm assuming that she was a stay-at-home mom because the stepfather, her husband, I think was he a trucker? Yeah, I think it was a truck or something like that. Something like that. But I think there was more abuse in that home than is initially being reported. Because for him to travel and then for her to still do that and or allow it to even take place within her household, I think that at some level there was some there was some abuse against her as well. I'm not saying that she was scared. I'm just assuming that there was some type of abuse against her as well. Or I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm a two-headed coin, but I could be wrong. She could have been a perfectly willing participant in um, in this entire thing, in this whole case. She could have been a willing participant. We don't even know if she was the one who initiated that, because I can say this, Ed. If you remember, a couple of years ago, there was a situation where the mother got jealous of the daughter, and then kicked the daughter out because uh, the mother thought that she was messing with the boyfriend. The mother thought that the daughter was messing with her boyfriend.
Bruh.
Like, I mean, like, it's real weird that these things happen, but they do happen, and more frequently than, like I said, than reported. So that probably could have been the case. I'm just throwing it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just throwing it out there.
Bruh.
That could have been the case. We don't really know. But what we do know is that this young woman was held, I think, in a basement. Yeah, in a basement or something like that, until visitors, family members came over. And it's like,
Bruh.
it makes you wonder, why didn't the family members say anything? Or why didn't this girl console any of her family members that this was going on? And if she did they know about it and didn't care? You know what I'm saying? These are the questions, people.
Bruh.
These are the questions that I have. I mean, it's a long list. It's a very long list. You take the school out of it because the school can't get involved because she wasn't going to school. She was being homeschooled. So I'll remove the school from the situation. But the family members, and as well, was the Child Protective Services. See, and I've always said that we need to change that within the Child Protective Services, because I think that it stated that there was a case open and then it closed. But I think with some cases, there should be a deeper, maybe a little deeper investigation. Like,
Bruh.
no, Ed, I'm being serious. I know. Listen, I know they do what they can and they investigate within a certain period, but sometimes for certain cases, I think maybe they should do a little bit more investigating, or maybe the investigation. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, investigation that they did put out there said that they pull up a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they offered her the services, but she refused them. You know what I'm saying? So
Bruh.
I mean, how far can you go, right? I'm just saying. I just think that there should have been a more thorough investigation into it. And I know my producer is on the sideline arguing that they did their investigation and that was it. But like I said, I think for some there should probably just be, you know, a little. I mean, I understand they did what they can, but probably a little bit more, just a little bit more. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, now in closing, um, there was something that they had stated about her mental and physical state, and I'm going to agree with the prosecutor on this one. Okay, I am going to agree with the prosecution on this one. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you you really can't. How do I say? Okay, look, I'll just put it this way because I don't want to. You know, only thing I can say is that this girl mentally, she's probably just going to be up for the rest of her life, and I'm gonna just keep it 100.
Bruh.
No, I'm just keeping it 100. That's how she's probably going to be. So I don't think you can really make any kind of decision or any type of judgment on her mental state. I think her physical state can probably change, but mentally, I believe this young girl is probably totally up right now. I'm just keeping it 100. I'm keeping it 100. And that's all I can say about her mental state. And these people, I mean, these two can we give them the dummy buzzer real quick before I forget? For these both individuals, because I mean, I could say at least, and I'm gonna just estimate it by at least the next 15 years. You know, at least the next 15 years, they could just be sitting there. Yeah, they might as well get used to that for next 15 to 20 years.
Bruh.
And that's my view and that's my opinion on this particular topic. All right, drop my bomb at. All right, I want to thank all my listeners for tuning in. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you are here with me, and I so appreciate that. Check us out on all our other social media platforms. There should be a listing for you right there on your screen. Until next episode, listeners, stay blessed and not stressed. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.